Hello, my name is Noelle Cederquist and I chose to present my intercultural speech on the French culture. When one hears the term culture, what immediately comes to mind is food, religion, language, art, even the fashion of certain people. Culture is defined by the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. This basically means that all these components of culture and all these differences make up what this specific culture subgroup is. I chose to do my assignment on the French because I think that there are great differences between how Americans are and how the French are. A lot of things and a lot of gestures are viewed extremely differently, and I like that. I think it creates a good, diverse sort of topic to talk about, and this assignment gave me an excuse to look into it a little more. French are very, very prideful. They take great offense to any negative comments about their country or government. The French are extremely proud to call themselves French. They are also extremely chauvinistic. Now, when someone is chauvinistic, this means that they are holding a gender higher above another gender. The French are basically very male-dominated. The men in the French culture are usually the breadwinners. They usually handle all household affairs, and they usually are held in more higher standards than women are. But they are also extreme romantics and very passionate. Now, whenever someone thinks about France and the Eiffel Tower and Paris, they always think about love and beautiful happiness. Well, this is because the French are extremely open when it comes to the idea of love. They are very positive towards sex outside of marriage, which some cultures are not, and cheating is not as cliche as it is in America. Love is extremely open, and French are just very, very passionate people. Now, another thing that they are passionate about is food. Food is highly valued in France. Wine and cheese are the most absolute must-haves. Every single meal is accompanied by wine, and sometimes cheese is just considered the absolute perfect dessert. Meals are always taken very seriously. You must arrive on time. But the further south you go in France, the more it can vary. About 10 minutes late or early is considered a norm, but it is considered highly, highly rude to be late to a dinner party. Traditional or ceremonial meals can take up to 4 hours because the French holds this dinner time as a really good quality time to spend with their family. They are celebrated with special drinks like champagne and wine, and it is customary to send flowers if you are invited to a dinner party so they can be displayed the next day. You're supposed to send them the day before. Breakfast is called the petit dejauner, and it usually consists of a light meal like yogurt. Lunch and dinner are held in very high regards. They are served with multiple courses. And when you are meeting somebody for dinner, a handshake is the most common way to greet someone formally, but informally, to like your friends and family, you would kiss them on either side of the cheek. The first name of a person is usually only spoken and reserved for close friends and relatives, and this only changes if you are invited to call the person by their first name. It is usually expected for one in France to address anyone with bonjour, madame, or minsuer, which means good morning, sir or Mrs., and bonsoir, which is good evening. And when one is leaving to say goodbye, au revoir is the proper way to say goodbye. So this is actually the end of my speech, and I would like to say au revoir because that is the appropriate way to end something in France.